is one more chapter of magnificence from the men from County Cork.
Hello and welcome to Sport for Business, where we are joined today by one of the superheroes from Tokyo 2020. He set the Irish Olympic flame alight in the first week of competition, becoming part of the duo that won what has become Ireland's 10th gold medal performance. We are delighted to be joined this morning by Paul O'Donovan. Very welcome to Sport for Business, Paul. Congratulations and welcome home. How has it been for you since you got back to Ireland and to Skibbereen?
It's been good to be home, actually. We've been away a lot there over the summer months with the rowing, and I think probably a bit more than usual in that, like, say, if we'd go away for one regatta, we'd kind of stay and do a training camp there for a bit longer, so until the next regatta. It's now kind of traveling, going in airplanes and this type of thing, moving about with all the COVID and stuff. And Joe, I really like being at home here in Skib, so it is good to be back now for the last couple of weeks, the end of the summer, and everyone's in a good mood, and they say the town's actually getting a good boost and a good lift, so it's good to be home for sure.
There was that degree of madness around the return in 2016. It's been, by necessity through COVID, a little bit quieter this time around. Has that suited you a little bit better?
Yeah, I think it's probably a bit easier, right? That there's not kind of the total madness and chaos that there was the last time, and tens of thousands or millions of people around in Skibbereen there. That it's just a little bit of a smaller crowd and just a kind of closer friends and family and stuff that you'll be seeing. So it's kind of nice to just spend a bit more time with each of them, have a little bit of a conversation, rather than not being able to get a word in before someone kind of drags you off in another direction. So I think for sure there's some positives for us from the whole COVID situation.
You're down to compete next after Henley in the Irish National Championships down in your native Cork at the end of this month. How are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I know, really looking forward to that now. So we're actually going to Henley Regatta in the UK next week, and it's the weekend after our National Championships. So it's kind of rare that we get to race the National Championships, because they usually clash with one of the World Cup regattas in Lucerne, which we always go to. So I think it's probably been about 4 years anyway since we've done the national champs. So it should be good now that we're all back to our own individual clubs and do a bit of racing against each other. It should be good fun.
And will you be competing alongside Fintan and possibly against your brother Gary?
No, I'll be competing against the two of them, because I'm rowing with UCC, because I'm getting the Quercus scholarship there, and they've been very good to me. Just like FBD have over the years. FBD have been a big supporter of myself and also some of the younger guys, but Joe, like that's kind of the good dynamic about the national championships, is that a lot of us are coming from different clubs now. People think it's all Skibbereen, but there's other athletes from Clonmel and Galway and these kind of places. We get to kind of do a bit of racing against each other as well, so that'll add to the excitement.
Looking back to Tokyo and the race, you pulled it all together in that last 500 meters. Can you tell us a little bit about the tactics of the race, and how aware are you of what's going on around you on the water?
I suppose because, well, you've got a pretty wide peripheral vision. I know we're kind of looking backwards down the course and not forwards, but the boats are quite long, and especially the stern end of them. So even though the Germans were a little bit ahead of us, we can still see their boat and engage off that. As well, the same as all the other boats. I think as we progressed on then through the race, we kind of knew it was ourselves in Germany at the head of the field, and there was no one else up there that we could see the rest of them behind us. And then I suppose you start to focus a little bit less on the other ones, and you're just a little bit more aware of Germany, and you know that you can see that no one else is really kind of coming up. So it was just kind of the end of the race then. It was just between ourselves and Germany, so a bit less to worry about, which was.
And how difficult was it in the conditions out there? Because we've heard a lot without being able to sense or feel it about the humidity, the heat, and indeed the choppy water as well. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was very, very hot and humid. But we'd done a lot of preparation in the lead up, because that was kind of all the talk over the years, just how hot and humid it was going to be there. So since around February or March, we've been doing some kind of work in a heat chamber there in Cork. Just we get a few heaters and crank up the temperature and get the humidity up too. So we were doing that pretty much couple of sessions every week for the 6 months in the lead up. So we are quite confident that we could handle it. And then we just some kind of other cooling strategies then on the day and stuff like this. So it was tough, but we were prepared for it, like, for sure. So I think that.
And going back to what it was like after the race, when you came back to the Olympic Village, we've seen the videos of Team Ireland out there to welcome you home. How did you feel when you were walking up towards that group?
That was brilliant. Yeah, welcome home. In fairness, we were walking up from the bus and I could just see them all gathered outside. And I was nearly quite surprised, just the size of the whole team. Because it was the biggest Irish team ever. And I think probably credit to FBD there as well, because they've been a principal sponsor of Team Ireland since 2018 and have been helping out some of the younger people to help them get up there and qualified and get to the game. So I think there was something like 116 Irish athletes. Now, they weren't all in the village at that moment, but I think there was the vast majority of them. And just brilliant that they all came down and gave us a bit of a cheer. So that was lovely to see. And I think in terms of COVID restrictions and stuff, it didn't have a huge impact, to be honest, on the village feel, because everyone's there kind of competing for themselves. They're not around there trying to socialise and mingle with people. So the roars, we are a bit conscious that we just kind of stay in our own group just out of precaution's sake, and but we kind of tend to do that anyway. So kind of apart from wearing face masks, and then they had kind of perspex boxes at each individual section in the tables in the dining hall. There's not a huge amount of difference, really. Usually there is. Team Ireland, I think the last time had a bigger kind of common room and a TV there where everyone could go and watch the races and whatever else people are competing in, and that wasn't there so much this time. Would be kind of just one of the only things, but no, it was just everyone was kind of, you'd see people walking, like you'd cross the street there and you'd see some other Team Ireland guys, you'd say hello and good luck and all this, and just it was a good atmosphere all around, I think, and I don't think the COVID had a huge damper on that.
And I know it's hard after climbing such a high mountain, but what's the next goal now for Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy? Where do you go next?
For sure, no, I definitely like to continue on until Paris. So we kind of, I suppose, go about planning what's the best way to attack that. I'd be kind of laughing there earlier at myself that we've only half the time now to train for Paris as we head for Tokyo, because it's only 3 years away rather than the 5 we had for this past one. But I think we should be able to work something out, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you this morning, and indeed to watching you over the last couple of weeks, and indeed the number of years. Our thanks to FBD Insurance for making this possible this morning, and especially to Paul O'Donovan for everything that you've done for Irish sport. Thanks a million.